everyone. Welcome to another episode of Root Ranch Marketplace. I am Dr. Vanya Pettigrew, CEO of Root Ranch Media Group, the media mogul, the executive producer and show creator. To those of you that are new to Marketplace, welcome and thank you for tuning in. You are in for a real treat. This episode, we're mixing things up. We're doing something a little bit different. We are featuring small businesses that are in the development space and the environmental space. We are going out to their job sites and taking a look at what they do, boots on the ground. They are rolling up their sleeves, they're putting in that sweat equity, and they are doing the work to build the Baltimore that we love. So, you guys already know the drill. If you haven't already, grab yourself a great cup of Root Ranch coffee, snuggle up, and enjoy the show.
As creatives, what better way to write, produce, and create great content than over a good cup of coffee? Whether it's the slow, sipping calm before you start the day, or the fuel you need to crank up your creative juices, Root Branch Press Coffee provides just the kick you need to bring forth your creative vision. Root Branch Press Coffee for creators and innovators.
Welcome back, everyone. We have an incredible guest in studio with us today, Mr. Cheo Hurley of THG Companies. Cheo, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
No problem. So listen, as you know, on Root Ranch Marketplace, we're all about illuminating and shining light on the small business, and you guys are doing some incredible work in the construction space. Tell us all about your company.
Yeah, so THG Company, we're a locally based Division 9, which is commercial interior work, construction work, as well as general contractor, located here right in Baltimore. We work with some of the biggest clients in the area, including Whiting Turner, Clark Construction, Harkins Builders. And we've really grown our footprint over the last 10 years. We hire locally, we train all of our staff locally in the construction trades, and we're just looking to grow and looking to do a really good job for all of our clients.
Wow, that's amazing. So Cheo, tell me, how'd you get your start?
So I started really on the real estate development side. I wanted to be the next big real estate developer. And interestingly enough, in 2008, when the real estate market crashed, like many of us, we were trying to figure out the next direction for our careers, right? And so I was already project managing big jobs, overseeing construction firms as the owner's rep for development, right? And so it was kind of a natural pivot for me. I ended up, at the time I was actually finishing up another master's degree. I've got 2 master's degrees, but I ended up going back to community college to take some construction courses, some estimating courses. I had some mentors show me actually how to do the work, like how to put in floors and put up drywall, things of that nature. And I started small, right? And so we got into the biz. We started doing some drywall jobs, started doing some flooring jobs, and it just kind of grew from there. My first big contract was into like 2018. We had a really kind of service contract with Whiting Turner, and that helped us grow our business from like 4 people to over. We had probably over 75 people come through our doors. Yeah, over that time. Yeah, so
that's amazing.
It's been a real good ride. Yeah.
So I understand that in general contracting, you kind of can cover the gamut, but do you guys have something that you're like really good at or you're really known for?
Yeah, we're really, really good at drywall, of course, but we're also really good at like site setup work. Any big construction site, our team is like the A team, right? We can come in and do like all the miscellaneous stuff that nobody wants to do, right? Putting up ramps, putting up fencing, just any sort of site setup work. We're really good at that. We have really efficient teams in that space, and we, like I said, we train people locally. I mean, and it doesn't matter your background, right? We are willing to work with anybody. As long as you're willing to come in, work your 40 hours a week, your 8 hours a day, have a good attitude, I'll give you the world, right?
Yeah.
So that's all I really ask for. We'll train you as needed. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about that. Why is that so important to you?
Well, it's super important to me. I grew up in West Baltimore in the early 90s, and it was not easy. I was very fortunate to have some educational opportunities presented to me that kind of took me out of my neighborhood on a daily basis and see a different side of Baltimore. And I just never forgot that, right? I understood that education was key. My mom was a teacher. My grandma was a teacher. And I understood that education was the key. But for that, who knows what could have happened. And so, I want to give other people the chance to learn.
That's right.
And give them an opportunity to come out of our city and do a great job, and take care of your family or whatever you want to do.
That's what it's about. When you have the opportunity to not only have economic impact, for a city like a Baltimore, but to be able to create opportunity, that's really where we get down to it. I love that. Thank you. So I know for a company of your size now, getting the bigger wins are the way to go, right? Because again, as someone who bought the block, I get the idea of, you want that big fish to kind of sustain the business. But as a small business yourself, and with this show being a show for small businesses, do you do work with smaller companies that may have property that can use your services?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we work with small businesses all the time. We partner with small businesses all the time. And so we're always looking for new opportunities. And, just because you start small doesn't mean you're going to end that way. Yeah. And usually once you start putting these things together, you end up growing bigger, both companies. So yeah, we absolutely do.
Awesome. So Gerald, how can our viewers get in touch with you? How can they connect?
Sure. Easiest way is just go to our website, which is thgcompaniesllc.com. And from there, it'll take you all over the place to figure out how to contact me and everyone else in the firm. And, we're easy to get in contact, easy to work with. So, I look forward to working with more people in the future.
All right, good stuff. Now, before I let you go, quick question.
Yes.
What cohort? I heard that you were Goldman Sachs, Think ASB. Come on,
Absolutely. I'm in the best cohort. I'm in cohort number 1.
Oh, snap, not cohort 1.
So yeah, I was in the very first cohort of the Goldman Sachs program.
Wow.
It was a great honor to be accepted into the program.
Yes.
And I met a lot of great firms, great people.
Yes.
And just really inspiring, right? Like, you being a small business, you can sometimes just be in your own little silo. Mm-hmm. And when you see what other people are doing or other techniques, it really helps you grow, and it helped my company grow.
Absolutely.
So it was really a good experience.
Well, I thank you for being in cohort 1 and setting the foundation for the rest of us to follow. I was cohort 9.
There you go.
Officially known as the COVID cohort. We were actually the cohort that was in session when COVID happened.
Wow.
Great to have you on the show. You all stay connected with THG Companies. Again, thank you so much. Don't go anywhere.
Thank you.
My name is Shantae Kazo, and I am owner of In Vein Aesthetics. My experience with Marketplace is, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just so calm, and I feel in place. I feel like I'm right where I need to be. I feel like I'm being led, and I don't feel like, a deer in the headlights, well, most of the time when I do, but you guys are so wonderful. I'm able to speak about my business, but also feel comfortable in my own skin.
Shantae, thank you so much for joining us today.
Absolutely. Thank you, Kenzie. Thank you for having me.
I really love being here. In Root Branch Marketplace, I just feel like holistically, you guys have kind of started a journey with me that I didn't anticipate. Well, branding is everything. Branding, marketing is everything. So you really want to be with someone who understands that aspect of business, because if that's not what you do, it's not what you do. You have to be able to focus on your forte. And having a group of people who really can come behind you, support you, and illustrate your business, market your business, help you stay on brand. It is the #1 thing to keep your brand alive. It's the #1 way to keep your business alive. So having a place like Marketplace where people are genuine and authentic, and they really want you to be successful. It's what they do, is to market and brand and help you grow your business, because if you're not growing, then you're dying, essentially. Jump off the fence if you're on the fence about joining Marketplace. Because like I said before, it's not just about doing one thing. It's just about being in the network. It's about being able to ask the right questions. It's about asking the right people the right questions. And so you want to be around those kind of people. So Marketplace gives you a lot of information, but it allows you to integrate that information in your business. So if you're on the fence, get off of it. That's how I feel.
Hi, I'm Rain Pryor here at Root Branch Media Group, where we shop local and shop small. Yes. Why I love Baltimore is because I know my neighbors and there's a sense of community. Baltimore strong all day long.
Hi, my name is Lisa Epi-Pelusi, owner of Mud Stew Modern, and I'm so excited to have this opportunity to mock up an exterior design staging of the residential portion of this awesome building in Catonsville. It's been fantastic that Matt has given me this opportunity because it's one of my favorite buildings. It's gotten a lot of attention because of the renovation after being 7 years vacant, boarded up post-fire. And why that is meaningful to me is because of my urban planning, landscape architecture, and streetscape design background. So it's a great way to show what I'm able to do with exterior design. And Matt can say a little bit more about the building.
Yeah, this building was vacant for 7 years, right here in the middle of downtown Catonsville. And I just couldn't walk by it anymore without doing something. It's one of the oldest buildings in town. It's pre-1900. And what we did was we restored the original facade so that it looks and feels like it used to. We continue the streetscape like Lisa said, and we brought another business into town, reactivated the building, and now it's bumping again. When we were figuring out how to configure the building, we came up with a plan where we'd have the apartment entrance in the back. And the back was just a vacant parking lot before, and it didn't really look like anything. And so we wanted to make it feel like home, not like an urban parking lot. So we added staging to the back, and it makes it feel like you're walking onto your front porch.
My family that I grew up in, I've been the oldest person alive for the last 15 years. So I really connect with objects that have a history and have a past. Things that are antiques and vintage just can really speak to me, especially garden items. So that's kind of how this all began. And I like to incorporate it into exterior staging for realtors as well, because when somebody's looking at a home, if something is a storied object or something has a past, it kind of feels, there's something like, oh, like I remember my grandmother had that, or my mother, and it sort of already feels like home. So I'm going to be incorporating some of those in very quickly here. These coffee stacks are actually, they're great for staging. I actually found them at Scrap More for $1 each. I love to support local businesses, anything that is helping our community be more sustainable. Scrap More actually takes donations of any sort of art supplies and organizes them. Volunteers put them into craft cylinders or kind of set them up in their beautiful shop for people, creative people to come and choose from. And I love to use them because it's keeping those materials out of a dumpster, and look how beautiful it can be. There's a landscape designer called Strawberry Fields. She has a farm called Lillian Farms. It's about a year old. And I went there and sourced the dried flowers. And we created these wreaths, also with ribbon from Scrap More. So the wreaths themselves came from Facebook Marketplace, and they were very, very affordable. I'm just gonna tie this together and hang it. The smaller one's gonna go on the shop door, and the bigger one's gonna go on the residential door. This is one of the objects that have a story that I've used for a vendor booth recently in Ellicott City at Springfest. And it's a birdhouse that's handcrafted with reclaimed wood. The decoration is sourced from Scrap More, and Maryland-based nature collection. So this was actually designed by my son, my teenage son, and I am going to use this for staging as well. So this is the final touch in this very simplistic looking staging design. So today we help tell the story of outdoor living in this beautiful urban residential rental that is part of a historic building that was recently renovated. And this is just one story. You can reach me at mudstewmodern.com, and I would be happy to help with staging of your building as well as any of your outdoor living spaces, commercial or residential, as your landscape object specialist.
I love Baltimore because I'm from here and everywhere else feels wrong. But if you wanted me to go into that at greater detail, I would say, how can you not love Baltimore? Baltimore is everything most places want to be. Some places are just too big to take on the neighborhood feel of Baltimore, and some places are too small to have all the amenities that we have. But Baltimore is just right. We're the Goldilocks of cities. It's important to celebrate small business because small business is really the bedrock of our economy. Most of the people who work in Baltimore work for small businesses. If you didn't have small businesses, not only would that be some sort of big picture financial issue for the economy, but it's also, that's how most people live. Yes, you go to some big stores to get things, but you need the small businesses to support the network of keeping people alive on a day-to-day basis. I've lived in Baltimore my entire life, so I've never lived anywhere else. But when I go to other places, I don't know that everywhere else has that same sort of really intense neighborhood connection. Baltimore really is a city of neighborhoods. We have joked that we are really 200 small towns held together by the same infrastructure. And that's really how Baltimore works. I was talking to somebody just a little while ago about how Baltimore is the kind of place where you move around inside neighborhoods. And that's not considered weird or strange. It's how we're built here in Baltimore. We're fiercely loyal to our communities, and I think Baltimore as a whole draws strength from that. So as a comptroller, I'm in charge of being the watchdog for Baltimore city government. I don't control the money, but I have to keep an eye on it and make sure that the mayor and the city agencies are spending it in an effective and an efficient way. And one of the ways that we promote small business in our office is we hold agencies very tightly to having to follow the city's rules when it comes to, are we spending as much as we could on local businesses? When we're doing contracts and dealing with vendors, are we making sure that we are properly supporting our community's minority-owned businesses and women-owned businesses? These are important things that the city, to its credit, has pledged to support, but sometimes we need to make sure that it's actually happening on a contract-by-contract basis. Getting people to pay attention is what it's all about. And that's where Root Branch is a real champion. The getting people to pay attention to the importance of small business is, in today's marketplace, the bigger businesses, the chains that are, run from out of town and that take the money out of town when you buy from them, those chains have a lot of money for advertising, and people see those ads. And it's important that people focus on what the smaller businesses that don't have those advertising dollars are able to do for them.
Hi, I'm Kenzie B., one of our co-hosts for Root Branch Marketplace. And in this segment, we have an
awesome business. We have Baltimore Cityscape and our CEO of that business, Kelly Lindau. Thank you so much for joining us today, Kelly.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, we're so excited to talk about all the things. So first of all, just tell me, what is Baltimore Cityscape?
Sure. So we're a small local engineering firm here in Baltimore. So we focus on everything that's outside, green spaces, community spaces, utilities, everything kind of outside the building. We design them here in Baltimore.
So you're making our city pretty.
Yes,
That's what you're
yes.
doing. So tell me a little bit about some of the projects that you do, and if you have any projects that are nearby.
Sure. So we kind of focus in two areas. We do a lot of green infrastructure projects. So that's all green spaces, clean water, environmental type projects. We also do a lot of community development projects though too. So we try to redevelop projects that are community supported here in Baltimore, making it just a better place to live. Better housing projects, mixed use projects, just trying to rebuild the city in a way that is really people focused and people driven.
Awesome. So we are here currently filming in the RBMG building, Canton Harbor, and I know that you have a project that's on the Canton waterfront. So tell me a little bit about that.
So we did a project with the Waterfront Partnership of Baltimore. We were looking for a site that could be a really good high visibility demonstration project to showcase kind of the connection of what we do in the environment and how it impacts the harbor. So what we did is we right down here in the Boston Street Park, we built a rain garden that captures some of the runoff from Boston Street, and it filters it. It captures the water. It allows it to filter through a bunch of native plant roots and soil. And when that water gets through the rain garden, what enters the harbor is a lot cleaner than what came in. So instead of all that runoff from the street that had pollutants and oil and grease and trash going straight into the harbor, it's now much cleaner when it gets in there. So we have a lot of signage, and when anyone's walking by, they can really make that connection between what's running off the streets and what's going into the harbor.
Right. So why is it important to have these designs be like artistic and beautiful and also functional?
Sure. So I think an urban environment like Baltimore, space is a premium. We don't have a lot of open space. So I think there's lots of things we could do. We could put that water into this box underwater and just have it dump into the harbor. Mm-hmm. But I think by combining that with a space in an aesthetic way where people want to come and engage with it, right. It sort of helps us do two things at once, because we're not only treating stormwater, but it is that public amenity. There are multiple benefits that we're able to tackle with these nice aesthetic designs.
Wow, that's so good to hear. It's awesome. I want to say thank you since we're in the neighborhood. I love it. So for people who are interested in learning more, finding a way to incorporate you into their outdoor organization, their business, where can they find you? Sure.
So we have our website. It's baltimorecityscape.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Cityscape Engineering. We try to showcase a lot of our projects here in the community, so check us out.
Yes, everyone, please go check out Baltimore Cityscape. In addition to being such an awesome business, they're also an alum of the Goldman Sachs 10KSB program, which, if you know, our CEO, Dr. Vanya Pettigrew, and our business, Root Branch Media Group, went through the same program. So it's always awesome to see how that partnership and collaboration can continue with this filming, and then also with your beautiful rain garden, which we're so excited to show. Kelly, thank you so much for being on the Root Branch Marketplace. And for everyone at home, stay tuned. We have another amazing segment.
Are you a small business with a big impact or know one who should be featured on the show? Let us know. Go to our website, rootbranchmediagroup.com/marketplace, or text Marketplace to 888-720-ROOT for more information on how to be featured in a future episode.
Are you a small business, nonprofit, or solopreneur looking for office space in Baltimore City? Root Branch Media Group is thrilled to invite you to tour available office spaces for lease inside our headquarters along Baltimore's scenic waterfront in Canton Harbor. We invite you to schedule a walkthrough and tour our space at the RBMG building, Canton Harbor. For more information, text rentals to 888-720-ROOT.
What a show! I told y'all today was going to be so good. I do hope that you enjoyed meeting the businesses that are building the city that we love. There's more content like that to come right here at Root Ranch Marketplace, so stay tuned. Thank you for watching. Bye.